Hi, my name is David Brown, and I'm a member of the Hilkamora Expedition Team. This is presentation number 2 in our 16-part series, and we're looking forward to showing you this. This particular presentation focuses on the evidences that we have found at Yaxchilan that correlate with so many of the people and events that took place at the city of Zarahemla in the Book of Mormon. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with our presentation. Hope that you find it interesting, if nothing else. For most of us, this is exciting. We approach Book of Mormon archaeological evidence from the aspect of what we call trends or patterns. We look for evidences of specific Book of Mormon stories and events. By doing so, we have found the MOSIAH-Maya matrix. This is a term that Neil Steedy has coined concerning this particular pattern or approach to discovering parallels between Mesoamerican history and Book of Mormon history. This matrix is founded on the assumption that the major characters in the Book of Mormon are also the major characters found in Mesoamerica, and that the major cities mentioned in the Book of Mormon are major cities found in Mesoamerica. If the Book of Mormon is true, then we expect that these Book of Mormon people and events will be found. The Book of Mormon provides us with a list of 4 kings at Zarahemla that end with a transition to judges. Therefore, we believe this is a unique pattern that we should be able to find. We do not look for exact name matches, especially when we cannot fully read the Mayan language. The Book of Mormon is a translated document. However, patterns of names should be embedded in the translation, even though names may not match. After comparing the Book of Mormon king lists with the Mayan king lists, we found a match for the Book of Mormon city of Zarahemla with a Mesoamerican city of Yaxchilan. And I should mention here that this is based on a study done by Grube and Martin, which they published in the book Chronicles of the Mayan Kings and Queens. These are the 11 major Maya cities with king lists. They are Calakmul, Caracal, Copan, Dos Pilas, Naranjo, Palenque, Piedras Negras, Quiergua, Tikal, Tonina, and Yaxchilan. Here we have placed them on the map to demonstrate their relative locations. All of these have stelae or some form, whether hieroglyphic stairway, they have some form of king lists that have been found. Based on king list similarities, the best option for the city of Zarahemla is the Maya site known as Yaxchilan. Now, this is a Book of Mormon king list search pattern we employed to compare with the Maya kings. Now, this list 10 kings, we don't know how many kings from the Book of Mormon, but there is a long list of 300 years at least of Mulekite kings that ends with Zarahemla. And then we have Mosiah, Benjamin, Mosiah, and then it goes to Judges. So we're looking for a king list that has the last 3 kings actually in a pattern of one name, another name, that same name again at the very end, and then it goes to Judges. Here is the list of the Yaxchilan kings, and what we're looking for is the double names. And the one that we found that fits is case I. You see that we've gone case A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Case I at the very bottom seems to fit the best. And specifically what we found was that it goes from Nadi Jaguar II to Itzamnaj Balam II to Yoat-Balam II to Itzamnaj-Balam III. Itzamnaj-Balam is Shield Jaguar II. In the archaeological records that are published, very often you'll find it referred to as Shield Jaguar. That's because it's the moniker of his name. If you look in the left corner, you see the glyph that is belonging to Shield Jaguar. He has a shield that is the forefront going from left to right, and that's the way the Maya read, from left to right. If you go Shield and then Jaguar, and that's where they get his name, his moniker. His Mayan name is Itzamnaj-Balam II. Here is the case with its peripherals that we have found, okay? We are purporting all of these individuals can be found at Yaxchilan. King ZARAHEMLA, who is Nadi Jaguar. King MOSIAH, who is Shield Jaguar II. King Benjamin, who is Yoat-Balam II. King MOSIAH the Younger, who is Shield Jaguar III. We also find Alma I and Alma II. That is Bird Jaguar III, and Alma II is Bird Jaguar IV. We also find Captain Moroni. He's referred to as Captain Kantok. All of these names and their stories that are illustrated on the stelae there in Yaxchilan, all of these in their context can be paralleled or correlated with these Book of Mormon individuals. This is the entire king list as they're compared. The only ones the Book of Mormon tells us about is Mulek, and then we hear about ZARAHEMLA, MOSIAH, Benjamin, MOSIAH. That's on the right-hand side. The left-hand side is the list of all of the Yaxchilan kings. This is what archaeology says about Shield Jaguar II. He came to Yaxchilan from the highlands. Language and temple building flourished in the lowlands during his reign. His introduction into the lowland culture created a unifying trend, but it also created a strain of royals who laid claim to the throne. These are Sun Kings. Now, let's parallel that with MOSIAH. MOSIAH came into ZARAHEMLA from the city of Nephi, and we're going to demonstrate here. City of Nephi is about 5,000 feet above Yaxchilan, or above ZARAHEMLA. So when it says he came down into the land of ZARAHEMLA and the city of ZARAHEMLA, he came down about 5,000 feet in elevation to do that. He taught the Mulekites his language. He was appointed king. He recorded the king lists of the Mulekite kings. He had a son that was deeply loved by his people, Benjamin, but there were a strain of royals who laid claim to the throne. These are the king men. You see how that parallels with the Sun Kings? So here we have the parallels between Shield Jaguar II and MOSIAH the Elder. It's uncanny how the things that they accomplished and the influence that they had on the culture during their reign are almost exact parallels. So we make the claim here that Shield Jaguar II is MOSIAH the Elder. If Yaxchilan is ZARAHEMLA, then this boxed area is the land of ZARAHEMLA. Now, that's not exact. You see the outline of the box, but that's approximate. The land of ZARAHEMLA is located actually pretty much the center point of the north-south, and Yaxchilan is almost the center point of the east-west. So it's amazing how all of this fits so well. And if Zarahemla, if that what we identified is Zarahemla, then this boxed area approximately is the land of Jershon. It's on the East Sea. And this is the approximate area of the land of Bountiful. It's on the northern side. Therefore, the land of the Lamanites is the southern highlands of the Maya influence. Moreover, large population movements described in the Book of Mormon now match population movements that are known to have occurred in ancient Mesoamerica. For example, the Ammonites or the anti-Nephi-Lehis. We now theorize they moved from Chalchuapa in El Salvador to Lamanai in Belize. Why do we know that? Because there was a study done and presentations made in the early 2000s at a conference that they took a look at, well, one group was talking about the beautiful developed pottery and polychrome and particular styles that were unique that just showed up out of nowhere in Lamanai. And they don't know, there's no record of its development, of its origin, or of these people, of where they developed or their origin. They just show up in this area. About 2 presentations later, another group of people reported on El Tazumal, which is the Chalchuapa area of El Salvador. And they presented on this beautiful pottery. They have its origin, the origin of the people and its development, and this unique pottery style. And then it just seems like the people vanish. They lock, stock, and barrel, they're gone. Well, these 2 people got together, these 2 presenters got together and realized this is the same pottery. They're talking about the same pottery. It was developed and all of the origin of that group began in Chalchuapa in El Salvador. And then for some reason, these people, these artisans who know how to make this, just up and move, and they land in Lamanai, which is in the Belize area, which is Jershon, the way that we talk about, the way that we see it. From this beginning, we have positively identified several cities based on archaeological evidence of events and historical figures, not on geography alone, although the geography fleshes out. Yaxchilan not only has a king list that correlates to Zarahemla, they also have a group of individuals and series of events that took place in Zarahemla. Shield Jaguar II, Mosiah, married a woman of royalty named Lady Cook. And as it turns out, Lady Cook is the daughter of Zarahemla. She is the daughter of Nodai Jaguar. As a result of this marriage, Shield Jaguar II became king of Yaxchilan. This is, and we'll see it here in a few minutes, this is documented on lintels in Temple 23 that is dedicated to Lady Cook. If Shield Jaguar II is King Mosiah, then we can now understand how Mosiah was appointed king over the Mulekites. He married the daughter of Zarahemla. That's been such a question. How does Mosiah come into Zarahemla? And here you have 300 years of history of Mulekite kings, and all of a sudden they just appoint him king. How does that happen? Well, the only one who can appoint is the one who is abdicating, and that is Zarahemla. Zarahemla appoints Mosiah king. Why? He married his daughter. There are a series of lintel carvings from Temple 23 at Yaxchilan that chronicles the marriage of Lady Cook with Shield Jaguar II. Here is a photo of one of the lintels depicting Lady Cook, who is seen in the lower right-hand corner. She is looking up to a face that emerges from a vision serpent. The face is the founder. This is what the archaeologists called him, the founder, who appears with his head emerging from the mouth of a Quetzalcoatl serpent. Archaeologists claim that Lady Cook is petitioning her ancestor. The text states that the founder gives his approval for Lady Cook to marry Shield Jaguar II. We believe that she, Lady Cook, understood the marriage would potentially cause turmoil among her people, so she prayed to her God and was shown this answer in a vision. And we say this because at the base of the vision serpent is an offering bowl. And she is offering up her prayers, her petition. And out of that comes this serpent, a vision serpent, a Quetzalcoatl vision serpent. Therefore, this is a sacred event. And she sees her founder, her great, don't know how many great grandfather. She sees him who says, it's okay for you to marry this man. You'll notice that he has both the shield and the spear. And the shield is in a position not of defense, but in a position of bringing in, of saying, it's okay, come in. In the second lintel, Lady Cook is shown performing a bloodletting ceremony in front of Shield Jaguar II. She is pulling a thorned rope through her tongue. And you see, once again, here's the offering bowl, which would be her petitions, out of which comes this cord, this rope, which represents a bond. The rope represents a bond. But that bond is thorned. In other words, there are times when it will be painful to have that bond. And she is pulling it through her tongue. Archaeologists believe that this depiction is a literal event. We disagree. We believe that Lady Cook is taking a sacred oath to bind her speech to the religion of self-sacrifice as she yields to a greater authority. And we say she's yielding to a greater authority because she is in a kneeling position. Shield Jaguar is standing over her with a rod out of which comes holy fire. That is sacred fire that's coming out of the ends. And it's coming down and it's touching her crown. This is it's emblematic of her relationship now to Shield Jaguar. And she's acquiescing, she's honoring, she's recognizing that he carries the larger inheritance or the greater authority to which she is yielding with her crown and her royal robe. The third lintel shows Shield Jaguar II receiving the crown from Lady Cook. This scene completes the marriage ceremony. And here, again, the jaguar head is representing the power and authority of the throne. And she is handing it over to him. She is acquiescing and allowing him to be the one now who is carrying the authority of the kingdom. None of this negates Book of Mormon scripture. To the contrary, it explains the given circumstances more clearly. And there is more information we can discern concerning the marital status of Shield Jaguar II, who we believe is Mosiah the Elder. In other words, the Mosiah who came down out of the city of Nephi. It is believed that her father, ZARAHEMLA, would have been the one to appoint her husband king. There are name glyphs that have been erased from lineage stela at Yaxchilan. We believe the Sun Kings, or the Kingmen, as the Book of Mormon puts it, were responsible for the removal of the names. They were angry that Zarahemla relinquished the throne to Mosiah. So just like the practice of the ancient Egyptians, when they wanted to remove someone from the historical record, they just blotted out their name. Their name was effaced, erased from the record. And that's what they're doing at Yaxchilan. If Lady Cook is the daughter of Zarahemla, then she is Jewish royalty through the throne line of Zedekiah. If Shield Jaguar II is Mosiah, then he is a Josephite, as Lehi revealed to us once he received the brass plates and discovered his lineage. Later on, we find out that the lineage is coming through the tribe of Manasseh, and that's later on in the book of Mormon. Therefore, we have represented here the southern kingdom of Israel through the lineage of Zarahemla's daughter, and the northern kingdom of Israel represented through the lineage of Mosiah. The marriage of Mosiah and the daughter of Zarahemla fulfills many promises. Again, taking a look here, you see that Joseph, Mosiah, carries the greater authority. It healed the breach of the Israelite throne when the sons of Solomon created a northern and southern kingdom. This marriage unified the divided throne and reestablished the throne of David. If this did take place, then King Benjamin was the first offspring of the Israelite united throne. He would be very special indeed. The marriage bound the promises of both lineages together, the right to rule until Shiloh comes, as promised to Judah, and the promise that Joseph's brethren would bow down to him from generation to generation, for Joseph will be a light unto his brethren to bring salvation. And you saw that in the previous lintel, where Lady Cook is bowing down to his authority. By Mosiah possessing the brass plates with the record of the Israelite people, he brought with him the spiritual knowledge that was distributed to the Mulekite Nephite population. This knowledge of spiritual prophecy and promise was the preparation for the seed of the gospel brought through Abinadi and Alma. The gospel knowledge then prepared the people of Mesoamerica to receive the Melchizedek priesthood as alluded to in the 10th chapter of Alma. With this priesthood, the people could develop further through the power of the Holy Spirit and prepare to greet a risen Christ when it was time. When it comes to King Benjamin, very little is known about him from the archaeological record. His Maya name is Yoat-Balam II. Very little is known because there is almost nothing recorded about him at Yaxchilan. If Yoat-Balam is King Benjamin, then we would not expect to find much concerning him. He was a humble servant king. He would not tolerate his name being displayed everywhere, and that is what we find. Note that unifying the Nephite people with the Mulekite people did not go over well. There were Jewish lineage heirs to the throne who would never again be considered a viable choice to rule once Mosiah assumed the kingship. Mosiah and his bride understood the gravity of not getting the majority of the population to agree with this change. One of the ways to appease the Mulekite masses would be to demonstrate that the Mulekite heritage would continue to be honored and respected. One of the ways that Shield Jaguar II demonstrated that he honored the Mulekite history is by placing the list of Mulekite kings on hieroglyphic stairway number 3 in Yaxchilan. And this is a photo of that stairway. Notice that there's a small set of stairs that goes up from the plaza and goes to this first level where there's a stela mounted. On that first level to the right is Temple 23, which is Lady Cook's temple. On that level to the left is Shield Jaguar II's temple, Temple 21, that talks about his ascension to the priesthood and to the kingship. So that comes together on that level and unifies the throne. And the steps then go up above to the temples up above, where we see King Benjamin's temple on the left. And then at the top of the stairs is Temple 33, which seems to be Lady Cook, but my inclination is it is the story of the establishment of the church, because there are a lot of illustrations of Bird Jaguar 2 and Bird Jaguar 3 here, who are the high priests, Alma 1 and Alma 2. Another example of Mosiah honoring the Mulekite heritage is the name of the first prince born to Shield Jaguar II and Lady Cook. The king name that follows Shield Jaguar II at Yaxchilan is Yoat Balam II. It is the same name as the founder of the Mulekite lineage. In other words, Mosiah and Lady Cook are saying, we want to be sure that our heritage continues to be honored. And because the founder of our king line came to Lady Cook and said, yes, this is okay, he gave his permission for this to take place, then her firstborn is named after him. Her firstborn is named after Mulek in Book of Mormon terms. And by extrapolation now, we now know that Mulek's given name was Benjamin. Mulek, MLK, are the consonants. In Hebrew, MLK means king. We believe that the Book of Mormon gave us the title of the son of Zedekiah, and his title was king. He was from the king line. Mulekites are not the people of Mulek, they are the people of the king. They are carrying the king line through Zedekiah. Therefore, the given name, because it's in the archaeological record, it's the same name as the son of Shield Jaguar, we believe that the given name for the founder was actually Benjamin. And here we see it displayed on this list. On lintel 52, Bird Jaguar 3, which is Alma 1, is depicted as the founder of the church. Shield Jaguar 3, who is Mosiah the Younger, is in attendance. This is important because what we have here are depictions of Shield Jaguar on the right. We know that that's him on the right because his headdress touches a name glyph of Yaxchilan up above in the texts that are up above. Bird Jaguar is on the left, and he is being given permission. He brings with him the covenant, which is illustrated by the bond rope on his back. And he brings with him the message or the church of Quetzalcoatl, which is depicted by the bird head and the quetzal feathers that are prolific on his headdress. So here we have the establishment of the church. This is actually how the Book of Mormon tells this story. Alma 1 had already founded the church before arriving in Yaxchilan. However, Mosiah the Younger commissioned Alma I to build the church in his kingdom. Therefore, this rendition is not in conflict with the Book of Mormon text. There is also the Book of Mormon story that tells of Mosiah the Younger passing all of the records to Alma II. Mosiah the Younger is Shield Jaguar 3, and Alma II is Bird Jaguar 4. The bloodletting ritual shown on Stela 3 references Mosiah the Younger and Alma II. We believe that this ritual is symbolic. Now, if you'll notice the hands that are located a little bit to the right, upper right of this particular illustration, from those hands come beads of blood that come down. That's why they call it a bloodletting ceremony. The beads of blood fall, but they don't fall like droplets of blood. They form an outline of a corn leaf, a corn plant. Well, the corn in Mayan aspect and blood in Mayan aspect are both representations of life. In religious aspect, corn is the food that feeds us spiritually. It is the food of life. It is the word which feeds us. Therefore, by this blood coming out of the hand, it is the life blood of their work. That's why he's coming out of the hand. Their works are being poured over these set of codexes that are at the base of the illustration. The codexes are their records, and the top of the codexes have a bond that goes across it. So this is a sacred record that these words of life are pouring into. And of great importance to us, we can see this event has something to do with the passing of the plates. So you see the feet of each of those individuals are touching, and it's indicating how it's being passed from the one on the left to the one on the right. By the way, you'll notice on the codex that there are 6 layers. Why? Because in 6 days, God created the heavens and earth, and on the 7th, he rested. 6 is the work of God. It is the creation of God. So these books, these plates, represent the work of God and the bonds, the sacred bonds that are included in it. Lentil 2 is called La Pasadita. It's another rendition of the passing of the plates. This was very important for them to record. Notice here, this is actually a better illustration of the corn plant configuration, where the blood is coming out of the hands, pouring into and over the works of God that are recorded in those codices, or what we would call the plates. Again, another affirmation. This is a second lentil that records that same event. This is a flapstaff ceremony with Bird Jaguar 4, which is Alma II, and Shield Jaguar 3, which is Mosiah the Younger. This event portrays when Mosiah retired the throne and Alma became the chief judge. So, Alma was high priest. When Mosiah abdicated the throne because his sons would not take the throne and it went to judges, then the judgeship, which is actually represented by the flapstaff, the judgeship is passed on to Alma. So now Alma is both high priest and chief judge. This event is mentioned in the Book of Mormon, and it seems that a specific event occurring in both the Book of Mormon and Mesoamerica is not coincidental. In other words, this is far too detail specific for it to just be coincidence that we would find these things not only on a stela in Mesoamerica, but on a stela in Yaxchilan, which we have identified as ZARAHEMLA, So it is in the city where this event took place. Because we find that the historical figures and specific historical events recorded at Yaxchilan fit the prominent Book of Mormon characters and stories recorded in Zarahemla. And as I stated before, I'm going to restate it again. Event, people, specific stories, detail specific stories. We can conclude that Yaxchilan is the Book of Mormon's city of Zarahemla. Not only are the historical figures a faithful parallel, but we note that the geography and the interactions with other cities and subculture groups are consistent with Book of Mormon stories. Again, after assessing the entire body of evidence for this being the city of Zarahemla, we find an overwhelming list that signifies this site as a direct parallel to Zarahemla. We are therefore compelled to ignore the official dates assigned to Mayan culture. We continue to state the claim that this trend will continue as we move forward and investigate the Mayan culture as a parallel to the stories in the Book of Mormon. So, that completes presentation number 2. Presentation number 3 is going to be on Chincoteague and why it is the city of Nephi. Again, we have an incredible amount of evidences that identify this city. So we encourage you to go ahead and watch presentation number 3 because you will be impressed. Thank you.